I must prepare my friends today. When they see that I'm engaged, they will go and drink rat poison and die.
Valentine's Day was supposed to be Chinai's big moment. For weeks, she planned everything carefully. She bought a beautiful ring with her own money, ordered gifts online, and booked a fancy restaurant. She told her friends to keep the evening free. In her mind, this would be the day she would finally show everyone that her relationship was perfect. On Facebook, she started posting early. Love is sweet when it's real. Some people are about to be shocked today. Chinai wanted to pepper her friends. That evening, she dressed up beautifully and arrived at the restaurant early with her friends. But when the man showed up, he had already made up his mind to break her heart. And what happened next left everyone in shock. Chinai was always the center of attention, whether she wanted it or not. But this Valentine's Day, she had a mission. She wasn't just going to be noticed, she was going to shine. And everyone in her circle of friends would see her at her absolute best. She scrolled through her phone, carefully checking her social media. Her friends were already posting about their boyfriends, their plans, their gifts. A small frown appeared on her face. No, I can't let them outshine me this time, she thought. Chinai had already bought the engagement ring. Not just any ring, but one that sparkled so brightly, it would blind anyone who looked at it. She had spent days choosing the perfect design, imagining the gasp of her friends when she finally showed it off. The fact that her boyfriend Tund wasn't really in love with her didn't matter. Love was secondary, pride was everything. She laid out everything on her bedroom floor. The ring, the card, the bouquet of roses she had bought herself, and even the chocolates she had picked out for effect. Each item was a trophy, a carefully chosen piece of her grand performance. She would stage the perfect proposal, not for him, but for them, her friends. Chinai practiced her expressions in the mirror. The gasp, the delighted smile, the shock and awe. Everything had to be perfect. The rented car, the flowers, the romantic setting, every detail was carefully planned. She imagined the stunned faces of Ada and Ifeoma, the jealousy, the admiration, the envy. This was her stage and she would perform flawlessly. And then she sent Tund a message. It wasn't gentle. It was commanding. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day. You will do this. Don't make me regret this. Everyone will see you propose. Don't disappoint me. Tund read it, heart sinking. He didn't want any part of it. He had tried to tell her he wasn't ready, that he didn't feel the same way, but Chinai didn't listen. Her demands weren't requests. They were ultimatums. As night fell, Chinai lay in bed, imagining her friends' reactions. She didn't feel guilty. She didn't feel nervous. She felt powerful. Tomorrow, she would prove that she was above them all, even if it meant forcing a love that wasn't there. And with that, the stage was set for a Valentine's Day that would be remembered not for love, but for the illusion of it. The morning of Valentine's Day arrived, bright and buzzing with excitement, but not for everyone. Tund woke up with a pit in his stomach. He knew today wasn't going to be ordinary. Chinai had made that very clear. Her messages from the night before replayed. In his mind, like a drumbeat, he couldn't escape. Don't disappoint me. Everyone will see. You will do this. You promised me. Tund had never felt so trapped. He didn't love Chinai the way she wanted him to, but she had crafted a plan so tight that saying no seemed impossible. She had bought the ring, rented the car, and even rehearsed her expressions in the mirror. It was more than a proposal. It was a performance, and he was the unwilling actor. Meanwhile, Chinai was already putting on her own show behind the scenes. She called her friends one by one, dropping subtle hints. I hope you're ready to see something special today. You'll all be so impressed. She laughed to herself as she imagined the envy flashing across Ada and Ifeoma's faces. To Chinai, their admiration or jealousy was the ultimate reward. Ada, on the other hand, had her own drama. She had been hinting to her boyfriend, Chima, that she expected a special Valentine's Day, hoping for a romantic surprise. Little did she know, Chinye's staged proposal had already taken the spotlight. Ada felt the pressure to up her own game, unaware that the real, heartfelt surprise was waiting for her later. Back at Tun's place, Chinye called him, her tone both sweet and sharp. "Don't forget, this is happening today. Everything has to be perfect. I'm counting on you. Everyone is watching." Tun swallowed hard, nodding even though she couldn't see him. He didn't have the words to tell her he couldn't do this. He tried to explain once, weeks ago, that he wasn't ready for a proposal, but she had brushed it off with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. She was relentless. By midday, Chinye was finalizing every detail. The flowers in the car, the chocolates on the seat, the exact moment she would surprise everyone with the ring. To her, the truth didn't matter. The performance did. She wanted to look victorious, and nothing, no hesitation, no reality would stop her. As the hours ticked closer, the tension between reality and illusion thickened. Chinye was ready to shine. Tund was ready to crumble, and the friends. They had no idea how twisted the day was about to become. By evening, the city was glowing with Valentine's energy. Restaurants were filled with couples. Red balloons floated everywhere. Flowers were being delivered. Love songs played in the background of almost every place. It was the kind of day that made people believe in romance. But for Chinye, it wasn't about love. It was about winning. She stood in front of her mirror, adjusting her dress for the third time. Her makeup was flawless. Her perfume was expensive. Her smile was rehearsed. Everything about her looked like a girl who was about to be proposed to. But deep inside, Chinye wasn't excited. She was determined. On her bed were the things she had prepared: a bouquet of roses, a box of chocolates, a gift bag filled with expensive items, and the engagement ring, all bought with her own money. She stared at the ring for a moment, then whispered to herself, "Today, they will know I'm not small. They will see I'm ahead." Outside, the rented luxury car was waiting. She had paid extra for it to look perfect. She wanted people to think Tund was the kind of man who would do anything for her. Meanwhile, Tund sat inside that same car, his hands gripping the steering wheel. Sweat gathered on his forehead. His heart was heavy. This wasn't what he wanted. This wasn't love. This was pressure. Chinye opened the door and entered like a queen. Then she smiled at him as if everything was normal. "Tund, are you ready?" she asked softly. Tund forced a nod. He didn't even have strength to speak. As they drove toward the planned location, Chinye kept checking her phone. Ada had already posted a cute Valentine selfie. Ifeoma was uploading flowers from her boyfriend. Chinye's eyes narrowed. "No, mine must be bigger than this," she thought. Soon, they arrived at the decorated outdoor lounge Chinye had secretly booked herself. Candles, red petals, a romantic corner. Everything looked like a dream. And standing nearby were her friends: Ada, Ifeoma, and a few others. Chinye had invited them under the excuse of, "Let's just hang out together for Valentine's." But deep down, she wanted an audience. As soon as they saw her step out of the luxury car, their mouths opened. "Chinye?" Ada gasped. Ifeoma asked. Chinye smiled proudly. "Tund now," she said casually. Tund's face tightened, but he said nothing. The waiter brought drinks. The atmosphere was perfect. Then Chinye touched Tund's arm under the table. It was a silent warning. "Do it now." Tund swallowed hard. "Guys," she said, holding her chest like she was emotional, "I don't even know what to say." Ada looked confused. "What's happening?" Chinye turned toward Tund dramatically. "Tund has something to tell you all." Tund froze. His eyes widened. He wasn't ready. He wasn't prepared. But Chinye's stare was sharp. It was not a request. It was an order. Slowly, Tun stood up. The whole place became quiet. People around even started watching. Someone brought out a phone to record. Chinye's heart raced, not with love, but with excitement. This was the moment she wanted. Tund reached into his pocket and pulled out the ring box. The same ring Chinye had bought. Ada covered her mouth. "Oh my God," Ifeoma whispered. "Is this real?" Chinye's eyes sparkled. Tun's hands shook. Then, he dropped to one knee. The crowd gasped. Chinye lifted her hands dramatically. "Yes, yes. Oh my goodness." Before he even spoke, Tun's voice came out low and forced. "Chinye, will you marry me?" The place erupted. People clapped. Her friends screamed. Ada jumped up. "This is so romantic." Chinye stretched her hand quickly. Tun slid the ring onto her finger, and Chinye laughed loudly. Not because she was happy, but because she had achieved what she wanted. She raised her hand high. "Guys, look at it." Phones came out instantly. Pictures, videos, Instagram stories. Chinye posed like a celebrity. Then she did something shocking. She opened her gift bags. "These are the things he got me," she announced proudly. Perfumes, shoes, bags, flowers, chocolates, everything that she had bought herself, that no one knew. Her friends were amazed. Ada's smile slowly became tight. Ifeoma stared quietly, because suddenly, they felt something. Pressure, comparison, that uncomfortable thought, am I doing enough in my relationship? And that was exactly what Chinye wanted. She leaned close to Ada and whispered, "Don't worry, yours will come soon." Ada forced a laugh, but deep inside, something started burning. That night, on Ada's way home, she couldn't stop thinking. Chinye got proposed to, on Valentine's Day, in a luxury car, with gifts, with an audience. And Ada's birthday was also Valentine's Day, so she turned to her boyfriend, Shima, and said the words that would change everything. "If you really love me, you will prove it. Today." Shima blinked. "Ada." But Ada wasn't listening. The seed of pressure had already been planted, and Chinye's fake love story was about to destroy something real. That night, Valentine's Day still filled the air with romance. Couples laughed. Cars passed with flowers. Social media was flooded with engagement photos. And Chinye was posting non-stop. A close-up of the ring. A video of Tund on one knee. A caption that read, "I said yes. Valentine's will never be the same." Her friends reposted it. People congratulated her. Strangers commented, "Wow, you're so lucky." Chinye smiled as she read every message. This was what she wanted. Attention. Validation. Proof that she was bigger than the rest. But while the world celebrated her, Tun sat alone in his apartment. His tie was loose. His face was blank. His hands trembled. He wasn't happy. He wasn't excited. He felt like a prisoner. Because deep down, he knew something. This engagement was not love. It was a trap. And the weight of it was starting to crush him. Ada's pressure. Across town, Ada was in tears. Not because she wasn't happy for her friend, but because Chinye's staged proposal had planted poison in her heart. She turned to Chima, her boyfriend, with shaking anger. "So, that's it?" she snapped. Chima looked confused. "What do you mean?" "Valentine's Day is ending. My birthday is ending. And nothing special has happened." Chima's eyes widened. "Ada, please." But Ada wasn't hearing him. Her voice rose. "If you loved me, you would have done something big. If you really wanted me, you would prove it like Tund did for Chinye." Chima froze. The mention of Chinye made his chest tighten. Because he had been planning something. A real surprise. A real proposal. A real moment. But now, Ada was turning it into a competition. She pointed at him. If you don't do something today, we are done. Chima's face fell. Ada, you don't understand. But Ada turned away. And Chima walked out into the night. Frustrated and heartbroken. The cracks begin to show. 2 days later, the girls met again. Chinye entered the cafe like a celebrity. Her ring was shining. Her phone was still full of congratulations. She sat down proudly. Ada forced a smile. So, how does it feel? Ada asked. Chinye laughed loudly. It feels like being chosen. Like being above. Ifeoma, who had been quiet all along, suddenly spoke. But, Chinye, can I ask something? Chinye blinked. What? Ifeoma leaned forward. Did Tund really plan all of this? The air changed instantly. Chinye's smile stiffened. Of course he did. Ifeoma hesitated. Then why did my cousin see you at the jewelry store? Buying the ring yourself? Silence. Ada's eyes widened. What? Chinye's fingers tightened around her cup. That's not true. But Ifeoma didn't stop. And the car? Wasn't it rented under your name? Ada slowly sat back. Her heart began pounding. Chinye. Chinye's voice became sharp. You people are jealous. That's the problem. But Ada whispered. Is it true? Chinye stood up suddenly. This conversation is over. She stormed out. But the damage was done. The seed of truth had been planted. That evening, Ada decided she needed answers. She went to Tund directly. She found him outside, sitting alone. He looked exhausted. Ada spoke carefully. Tund, I need to ask you something. Please be honest. Tund didn't respond. Ada continued. Did you really propose because you wanted to? Tund laughed bitterly. Then, he broke. She forced me. Ada froze. What? Tund's voice cracked. She bought the ring, Ada. She rented the car. She planned everything. She told me if I didn't do it, she would ruin my name. Ada's mouth dropped open. She faked it? Tund nodded slowly. She didn't want love. She wanted an audience. Ada felt sick. All that pressure, all that comparison, had been built on a lie. The real proposal. Later that night, Ada returned home quietly. She found Chima waiting outside her door. His face was calm, but his eyes were tired. Ada, he said softly. She whispered, I know. Chima blinked. You know what? The truth about Chinye. Chima sighed deeply. Then he reached into his pocket. Ada's heart stopped. He pulled out a small velvet box. Ada, I was going to do this on Valentine's night. On your birthday. Not because of pressure. Not because of competition. He stepped closer. But because I love you. Ada's eyes filled with tears. Chima opened the box. Inside was a ring. A real one. Not bought for show. Not forced. Not staged. Chima dropped to one knee. Ada, will you marry me? Ada covered her mouth. This wasn't noise. This wasn't social media. This wasn't performance. This was real. She nodded through tears. Yes, yes. Chinye's collapse. When Chinye heard the news, she couldn't breathe. Ada engaged. For real. Without forcing. Without faking. Without buying her own ring. And suddenly, everyone began to look at Chinye differently. Her perfect image cracked. Her engagement became a joke. Tund finally ended it. I can't live in your lies, he told her. And Chinye stood alone, realizing too late that love cannot be pressured. Love cannot be rented. Love cannot be bought. And the loudest Valentine, was the fakest one. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share so you don't miss our next stories.